By now, you all are aware of this demon on your screen who harassed a young Israelite boy at the playground, who was on the spectrum, by the way, by calling him the racial epithet, the racial slur, the N word. Now, the ignorance of this caucus system is that that word actually is a word rooted in greatness, Negus, king, Ethiopian king. But nevertheless, of course, she didn't use it in a way to talk of his royalty, of his clear royalty of which he is as the son of Judah. She used it as a slur. She used it to attack him, just like her ancestors have done to our people for such a long time. And, what I wanted to address was like most people are, focusing on the issue about how she feared for her life, right? She needed to raise money so she could relocate because she was doxxed. She was doxxed after, she was recorded by this Somalian man on the playground, shout out to him, who recorded her and checked her for her racism. But what I wanted to talk about was, how we see the clear hypocrisy, right, of this system. And that this is the same system who just 2 weeks ago, less than 2 weeks ago, was sitting there belly aching and crying and having a cow over so-called black people raising money for the innocence of Carmelo Anthony, right? Because in this system, you are supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, right? But they had already labeled him guilty, and based off of the Constitution of the United States that they say that is supposed to be the rule of law, he is supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. So the so-called black community raised monies for him and his family so that he would be able to get bailed out when the bail was set at $1 million, and then the wise judge lowered that bail to, I believe it was $100,000, and he was able to use that. And then they claimed, the same system claimed that that money was then used for relocation purposes for the family who had been receiving legitimate unaliving threats, even though that proved to be false. They hadn't even had access to the money as of yet. But this Karen Shiloh, which this beast should not have such a holy and righteous name, but nevertheless, she then puts up a GoFundMe and raises, at this point, I believe, over $500,000 so far. So far, she's raised over $500,000 because she, you guessed it, she fears for her life. Because why? She got called out for calling and harassing and potentially laying hands on a young Israelite king. And I'm here, because when I look at this situation, and please forgive the noise in the background, but when I look at this situation, it just is evident. It is so evident to me, which has been for a long time, even though it was covert for a very long time. It's evident to me of this system of Egypt 2.0 that we live in. I don't understand how it is that our people or any peoples cannot see that we are the true children of Israel in an oppressive system that is likened unto Egypt 2.0 according to the word Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 68. This is literally the hand of the oppressor always moving the goalpost. These people have revealed themselves and who they always were. And it's funny because I have conversations with people sometimes and they use the rhetoric of not blaming current society and the current Europeans for what their forefathers did. And I get that to a degree, because not everybody has the same mindset. But let's just be honest, y'all. I mean, can we keep it a buck? We're not talking about even having a conversation about what they did in yesteryear. We're talking about what they're doing today. We're talking about what they're doing right now. Right now, this is the face of what represents them right here on the screen. This is the face of what represents them. And the mindset that it's perfectly okay to harass, even potentially lay hands on and hurt a little Israelite boy because of the simple fact that he is an Israelite. Oh, I know. People ain't gonna say that. They're gonna say, oh, he's a little black boy. No, because see, that's what they want to do is they want to characterize based off of a color rather than off of a bloodline. This is a bloodline issue. This is an ancient hatred. And the problem is that our people as a collective don't understand how bloodlines really work. You see, the powers that should not be, they understand exactly how bloodlines work. But because we as a collective still are ignorant to how the blood works, but yet we say the blood of Yahusha, that's a perfect blood. That's a spotless blood. And yet we don't understand that that blood is over our blood. Right? That blood that's purified is over our blood. And the bloodline of that same one who is our Savior flows through us. Ah, come on now. Listen, I'm not going to preach. But what I will say is this. What you're seeing is ancient hatred. What you are seeing is spiritual in nature. And you should not be surprised when you see these things. Why? Because we know that the devil knows that his time is short. So when we see demons like this manifesting themselves in the lands of our captivity, Egypt 2.0, none of us should be shocked. None of us should be surprised at the hypocrisy that we see going on. But this should open up our eyes as a revelation, a revelatory moment so that we will understand what's really going on, what's really happening. See, stop making things about black and white. That's where they want to keep you. They want to keep you on the surface. Oh, this is black versus white. No, this is Yahudim. This is the Israelites against the nations, the bloodlines that have made war with the saints. Come on now, let's talk about it because this is Revelation chapter 12. This is the Bible. But see, when we're looking at things on the surface, or we're looking at the politics of the things exclusively, rather than looking at the spiritual nature of what we are dealing with, this is Ephesians chapter 6 moment. We're not wrestling against flesh and blood. No, but we're wrestling against principalities, powers, and rulers in high places. And these rulers rule over the nations that have turned their back on Yah and have persecuted the children of Israel. And so what I'm saying to you is that when you begin to look at things through the context and the lens in which they should be looked at, you should not be surprised. This is why it is that they got angry when we put our dollars together and our voices together for Karmelo Anthony. Why? Because they don't want a unified, they don't want a united Yasharel. They don't want a united Judah. They don't want us to unite with action and putting our dollars because they worship that mammon. They worship it. Okay, so you have to understand that that's what we're up against. They're putting their dollars towards what they believe. We're putting our dollars towards what we believe. And so what I'm saying to you is that don't sit there and be shocked when you see this stuff. Just understand the roots of where it comes from, the real roots of where it comes from. And the real roots is not surfacey black and white. The real roots is bloodline. It's antiquity. It's ancient hatred. And it's something that Yahuwah is judging. He's judging these nations. And that's why they're showing their hand now. See, they can't hide covertly and pretend and smile up in your face like they cool with you. All the while they stabbing you in the back. They can't do that no longer. See, they got their commander and dictator in the house now, so that they're able to go in and be emboldened and brazen with what was already inside of them. It was already there. It's always been there. And now we get to see it out in the open. So now, family, what do we have to do? What is our response? Our response is we continue to uplift the name of Yah, continue to wake our people up, unifying our people, waking them up to who they are as the true Yahudim, and we begin to support one another. We support one another and we protect our babies, and don't have your baby on the playground dealing with these Karens and not protecting your babies, because we know how children are. We know the children pick up other children's toys. Those of us who are parents, they know it's just the reality of being on the playground. But this beast, this demon, because of the beast-like nature that is within her, the hatred that is within her, she couldn't help herself but to act out in her ways. So do not be surprised, but do what we got to do. We got to shout unto Yahuwah. We got to cry out unto him for deliverance from Egypt 2.0, because we can no longer just sit here and exist in this system and be okay with it. It's 2025, y'all. We need to be delivered. Anyway, that's my thoughts. I want to hear yours in the comment section below, so please go ahead and give them. And also like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, family, y'all bless.